Hello, everyone. So I was trying to come up with a clever, you know, see this is a house where I lived. I was maybe 16 or 17 years old. And I was trying to come up with a clever, you know, from not rags to riches because I'm not rich, but humble beginnings, don't dwell on the past. Um, to find something clever to say, to draw some emotion. And looking back, I never, that I remember, went hungry a day living here in this house. We didn't have much money. I can't remember what they charged us for rent for this house. Now, this picture was taken probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. Let's see. Maybe about 20 years after I actually lived there. And actually, this picture looks worse than it actually was when we lived there, but not much. As far as I can remember, when we first rented this house, I had one of my cousins with me. He was going to help us move or something, and we were pulling up the driveway, and he sees this house here. He's like, "This house looks like a barn." I was like, "Yeah, I guess it kind of does, but this is where I'm gonna be staying for a while." But to put it in perspective, looking back, it's a not a nice house, so to say, but this roof here looks pretty jacked up, but it wasn't it wasn't that bad when I lived there. It had the tin roof on it when I lived there. Looks like it didn't have all this stuff here on the porch back when I lived there. We had it, pretty nice. My mom would she liked knickknacks and things, and she had it set up nice. I remember one day she was sitting out there. We like to sit on this porch. No air conditioning in this house, so it was probably cooler to sit outside than it was to sit inside the house here in the summer. But one day I heard something. She was screaming and hollering. I went out on the porch. There was a raccoon. She she was sitting there, and she said she felt something brush across her leg, and looked down. It was a raccoon. I can't remember. It seemed like I got a broom or something and scared off the raccoon. But come to find out, one of my friends, he's probably, I don't know, as the crow flies, maybe 3 or 4 miles, 5 miles, I don't know. But he had this pet raccoon. He had this pet raccoon. He had it and was feeding it and stuff, and it was pretty well tame, like a little tame animal. And come to find out, I told him the story. He's like, yeah, man, I let our raccoon go. I bet you that was the one. And anyway, back to the story. Trying to come up with a clever, don't dwell on the past, humble beginnings. Um, but there are people in this world today that would love a house like this. They're living on the streets or living, just in a tent somewhere. As far as I remember, that when we lived there, that roof didn't leak. It was a roof over our heads. Sometimes you just got to think, you think you're in this bad position, your circumstances are not good. And on the surface, they're not good, but sometimes just try to remember there's somebody always worse off than you are. Have a good day.